Time alone is not enough to heal from topical steroid withdrawal, or TSW for short. The idea that time heals all is the biggest mistake I see people make when trying to clear their TSW. It really pains me when I see people going through TSW for like 5+ years and their skin is still as inflamed as it was years ago. Let's go over a theory that I like to call the TSW Threshold Theory, which will give you an idea about why your skin won't clear if you just wait and wait and wait and don't actually put in any work to heal your skin. After that, I will go over 5 tips on how to use this theory to your advantage. All right, let's go. How's it going, everyone? My name is Larry. Welcome back to Fighting Eczema. So what exactly is the TSW Threshold Theory? I'm going to try to explain this to you visually here. In general, your body is really good at repairing itself, and that includes repairing the skin. Let's put a line here and say this is the level that your body can heal itself naturally. If you get a small cut, or maybe you have a small patch of eczema, the amount of damage to your skin or the levels of inflammation are going to be quite low, right? So let's say around this level here. As you can see, this level is below this threshold here, and so what that means is that your body will have no issue repairing the skin by itself. Now in contrast, let's talk about TSW. Those of you going through TSW know how crazy and inflamed your skin can be. So the line for TSW can be all the way up here. It's not a small cut, it's not a small patch of eczema, it's full-blown TSW, right? And so hopefully you can now see that your body will not have the power to repair skin that is going through intense TSW. It doesn't matter if you wait a year or 5 years or 10 years, if you don't lower this TSW threshold, your body will likely never be able to take over and start to heal your skin on its own. So just take a look at this picture one more time. The key here is to lower this TSW threshold to a point where your body can take over. Now, what is an easy way to lower this TSW threshold? I'm going to say it, medications. This is why people with TSW will often use biologics, such as Dupixent or Rinvoq, or they will use oral immunosuppressants, such as cyclosporin. These medications can do a good job of lowering the TSW threshold, but you have to remember that medications oftentimes only treat the symptoms and not the root causes. What usually happens is that people will stop using the medications because their skin is kind of clearing up, but then, boom, their skin issues come back, right? Because the medications were only suppressing the threshold, but once you stop, it's going to come back up and you're going to have the same skin problems that you had before the medications. So now let's talk about 5 ways of actually lowering that TSW threshold more naturally and holistically in a way where you're not just suppressing the threshold, you're actually lowering it for good. These 5 things are common ways to lower that threshold, but you have to remember that these are 5 out of hundreds of potential contributing factors. I really recommend working with someone who can take the time to determine all of your potential root causes and help you work through them. If you want to work with me, I offer one-on-one coaching programs where I guarantee to work with you until your skin clears or you don't need me anymore, no matter how long that takes. You can find out more at fightingeczema.com. Diet is going to be the first thing on my list. When you are going through TSW, your body is going to be in a crazy state of inflammation. Obviously, I'm simplifying this, but if you have itchy, red, swollen skin, you can think high inflammation. Foods can be categorized into inflammatory foods and anti-inflammatory foods. You want to avoid inflammatory foods as much as possible because you don't want to be adding fuel to the inflammatory fire. You want to be eating anti-inflammatory foods to combat that inflammation that is already there. Inflammatory foods are going to be those ultra-processed foods, right? Like fast food burgers and fries, ice cream, potato chips, chocolate, candy, basically things that you would consider junk foods. You'll want to avoid those highly processed foods and stick with whole foods. Another thing that you want to keep in mind is that everyone has their own specific food sensitivities. It's very important that you put in the work to find out what your food sensitivities are so that you can avoid those foods. Next, I want to talk about hormones. This one is going to be a little bit harder to go into details because it's going to be different for everyone. For example, studies have shown that teens going through puberty will have immune system changes due to hormone changes. These changes can lead to increased levels of inflammation, which means a higher TSW threshold. So for you teens out there who are suffering from TSW, you may want to look into ways of stabilizing your hormones. I mean, you can't avoid puberty, but you can do things to sort of stabilize and regulate your hormones as these natural changes occur. Sleep and exercise are two important lifestyle factors that you have to stay on top of if you think hormone imbalances are contributing to your skin issues. Another example involves thyroid hormone issues. Thyroid conditions like hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism can affect your immune system and therefore increase levels of inflammation, increasing the TSW threshold. So if you suffer from TSW and you have parents or maybe grandparents who have suffered from thyroid conditions, you yourself may want to go get checked out for these thyroid issues because it's possible that you have some sort of thyroid hormone issue that's preventing your TSW from healing. Again, if you think hormone imbalances are contributing to your skin issues, I recommend going and working with someone who can really figure it out because it's going to be impossible for me to talk about all the different hormones in a single video. Before we get into the next tip on this list, I'm going to ask you to hit the like button on this video if you're finding it helpful. You can also follow us on Instagram at fighting_eczema for more free information on how to heal your skin. The next tip on this list to reduce your TSW threshold is to maintain a healthy body weight. If you are overweight or obese, you have an increased amount of adipose tissue or fat tissue. Essentially, this adipose tissue will be producing inflammatory molecules consistently and basically keeping inflammation high in your body. So if you lose weight and burn off this fat tissue, you are basically eliminating a source of inflammation. And yes, I know losing weight is hard, so find as much support as you can. I'd be happy to work with you through my one-on-one coaching program to create a weight loss plan for you if needed. Next up is the idea of moving your lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is a series of vessels in your body that is important for flushing out toxins and waste products. If your lymphatic system is not circulating properly, there might be a buildup of toxins, waste, immune system cells, stuff like that in the lymph nodes, and that's going to lead to increased levels of inflammation. If you notice that your skin is often swollen and maybe oozing a lot of liquid, this may be a sign that your lymphatic fluid is not circulating properly. So how do you keep your lymphatic system moving? Physical activity, massage, and dry brushing are three of my favorite ways of keeping that lymphatic system moving. The next way of lowering that TSW threshold is to reduce stress. Cortisol is a stress hormone that is very involved with the immune system. If you are stressed all the time, your cortisol levels will be very high. High cortisol equals high inflammation equals high TSW threshold. So if you reduce your stress, you'll reduce your cortisol levels, which will reduce inflammation and therefore reduce the TSW threshold. All right, everyone, take this theory, go out there and try your best to reduce that TSW threshold. If you want to learn more about how to heal your skin, you can check out one of the videos that has just popped up on your screen. See you in the next video.